watching Local 6, home of ClickOrlando.com. Local 6 News starts now.
11 faces, one criminal connection. Now at 6, deputies catch predators trying to get close to children.
She says George Zimmerman got away with murder. What does Mark O'Mara, the attorney, have to say? The reaction in moments. But first.
I'm on a public roadway. Show your
The woman behind this camera says Casey Anthony's mother attacked her. It is the same woman who says she bought some of Kaylee Anthony's old belongings at a garage sale. Good evening, I'm Lauren Rowe.
And I'm Gart Swanson. Their first meeting at that garage sale outside this home in Mount Dora appeared to be friendly. But the next time the ladies met, a much different story. Mike DeForest is live in Mount Dora tonight where that confrontation occurred. So, Mike, did Cindy Anthony assault that woman?
Well, deputies tell us that they have found no evidence yet to support that woman's claims. Casey Anthony's parents have been holding several garage sales here at this relative's home over the last few months, and one particular customer has been repeatedly coming by.
Come on. I'm on a public roadway. Show your
In this cell phone video, you see a woman named Christina Werner confront Casey Anthony's mother at a garage sale.
touch me.
How dare you? Do it. How dare you?
What you don't see is Cindy Anthony reach into the car and scratch Werner's arm. That's what the Lake County woman claims happened to her. But when deputies questioned Werner, they saw no abrasions on her arm to back up her story.
This is the one that bothered me the most. Because we all know that Kaylee's favorite characters are Winnie the Pooh.
Last month, Werner attended another garage sale at the house and bought items she believes once belonged to Kaylee Anthony. The next day, Werner returned to the home and covertly recorded this cell phone video of George and Cindy Anthony without their knowledge, a video she later sold to a tabloid website. The couple has threatened to sue Werner over that secret recording.
How dare you? You're chicken.
After yesterday's confrontation, deputies interviewed the Anthonys and one of the neighbors who witnessed it. All of them insist that Cindy Anthony remained 3 feet away from the car and never touched Werner. Now, deputies asked Werner if it was possible that she was stalking the Anthonys due to the notoriety surrounding their daughter. She said she didn't think she was. I spoke to Werner by phone today. She said she was just too emotional to talk about this. Guard.
So what about the other side, Mike? What do the Anthonys have to say about all of this?
Well, I did talk to them just a little while ago, too, and they say this woman is harassing them. They're worried that she's going to continue this, and they have gotten their lawyer involved.
All right, Mike DeForest reporting live. Thank you, Mike. Also developing a disgusting bust in Brevard County. Deputies say they caught nearly a dozen people who went online looking for children to have sex with.
Among those arrested, an actor and a federal sex offender. Justin Wormuth talked to the sheriff about how he was able to trap these people before they could pull off their plans.
Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey says Florida is now safer after these 11 guys are behind bars.
These are individuals I'd like to put behind bars and throw the key away.
It was an undercover operation targeting individuals who were contacting minors for sex over the internet. Some suspects traveled from as far as Miami to have sex with what they thought were children.
Each of them came here with the thought that once they arrived in Brevard County, they were going to be able to have sex with a 14-year-old girl or boy, depending on their preference that they had outlined in their communication.
The sting was known as Operation Sand Spider, and as a result, 11 men ranging in ages from 24 to 69 were arrested. A task force, along with the help of other agencies, were able to lure the suspects to a bait house.
I think they overlook logic when they're approaching their prey, if you will. And this is one of those where they came here fully expecting to meet a 14-year-old.
Of the 11 arrested, deputies say one man even brought a 17-year-old with him so he could watch that minor have sex with a child. 42-year-old Todd Krober is now facing federal charges. The rest of the suspects are being held in the Brevard County Jail on a $35,000 bond. The arrests are just the beginning of this operation. Sheriff Ivey says the next phase is to lock these guys up for as long as possible. In Brevard County, Justin Wormuth, Local 6.
Tonight, Tropical Storm Dorian is getting beat up a bit.
Yeah, he's losing some steam, but certainly not losing our interest. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Tom Soros with the latest track. Tom?
Yeah, we won't lose interest in Dorian until it's dead and gone. It has to be stomped, done, put, buried before we say, okay, it's really not ever going to be a problem. Tonight, things are looking a lot rougher. The track remains a lot like it was, but look at the end game here. It should become an open wave as early as Sunday and maybe even earlier than that. Current path of projected movement from the Hurricane Center brings it all the way across by 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Instead of being a raging Category 1 hurricane or a strong tropical storm, it's now projected to only have 30-mile-per-hour winds by Tuesday afternoon. Here's why. Look at it. It looks really sick and ill. The center was rocking yesterday, but today is kind of separated away from all the big convection, and now looks as though it's dying out. So that's good news for the weekend and the work week ahead. What's not great news for the weekend are the rain chances. Look at this pounding rain that's happening from South Orlando all the way down into Kissimmee. Here's Kissimmee, here's the Silver Spurs Arena, and the lightning strikes there are just crazy for the moment. West Coast sea breeze here, East Coast sea breeze coming in, and voila, we've got our big scattered showers. I'll be back in a few more minutes to track more of this rain and have a more in-depth look at what lies ahead for your weekend.
All right, thank you, Tom. And you can track Dorian 24/7 with our free Hurricane Tracker app. Get the latest path plus live radar right on your smartphone. Just search WKMG.
Our other big story tonight, fewer Central Florida schools at the head of the class when it comes to grades. Not just fewer A's, but more F's. Here is the breakdown. Statewide, the number of A schools plummeted by nearly 39%. F schools nearly doubled. But when you talk to school leaders, they say the numbers are a lie. Let's bring in Eric Sandoval live in Orlando. So, Eric, school leaders say it's not their fault. They still believe it is the system that's causing all these problems.
That's right, and I'll give you an example, Lauren. We're at Molly Ray Elementary School in Orlando, where just 2 years ago, the school had a C grade. Last year, it dropped to a D. This year, it dropped to an F. They failed. Well, at the same time, over those 3 years, the way the state grades the schools also changed. Now, Orange County school leaders are saying, let's play fair.
If you teach to the test, you're just playing Russian roulette.
That's why Orange County School Superintendent Barbara Jenkins urges her teachers to teach to the curriculum and not to the Florida Assessment Test, better known as the FCAT. The way the state measures school progress with those test scores has changed 3 times over the last 5 years.
Started out with the FCAT 12 years ago. Then it went to the next generation Sunshine State Standards. Then it went to FCAT 2.0. And now we've got the writing 3.5, and we're about to transition to another set of measurements.
Those measurements, called Common Core, will be implemented in the 2014 school year. School Board President Bill Sublett says the fact that Orange County had 60% of its schools make an A or a B on the report card proves the district is competitive. But he says the state needs to stop changing the rules so everyone can play fairly.
We've got to get the state to give us a standard and let us stand on that standard and compete on that standard for a reasonable period of time.
But with Common Core being phased in, that's not expected to happen, leaving some to wonder if these letter grades for schools really matter.
Because you're not going to be able to guarantee what's showing up on the test from one year to the next.
Now, the big change for this year was that schools could only move 1 letter grade in each direction, meaning that some schools could have reached an A status and other schools could have reached an F status. So we could have had more standouts and we could have had more failures, too. Lauren?
I know it's confusing for a lot of people. Do the school report cards cover all of the schools in the state?
No, actually, that's very important to point out. This report card only focused on elementary and middle schools. We're supposed to get the report card for high schools coming up later on as soon as the school year starts. Lauren?
Okay, thanks very much. Now, we know you want to know how your child's school did, so we've made it easy for you. For a county-by-county breakdown, go to clickorlando.com. You'll find a link to the school grades under the top story section of our homepage.
She didn't hold back, and neither is Mark O'Mara. George Zimmerman's attorney is reacting tonight to the first juror to show her face after the verdict. Juror B29, also known as Maddie, told ABC News she thinks Zimmerman got away with murder, but could not convict him. O'Mara shared his thoughts online today. Now, here's a copy of what he wrote on the O'Mara Log blog. Now, he wrote, in part, quote, "We acknowledge and always have that George killed Trayvon Martin. We don't expect jurors to be heartless people. Every loss of life is a tragedy, and we don't ask jurors to be immune to that. But we do ask jurors not to reach their verdicts based on what their hearts tell them." Based on her comments, juror B29 accepted a tremendous burden, set her feelings aside, and cast a verdict based on the evidence presented in court and on the law she was provided. And we're seeing a lot of reaction on clickorlando.com. Gandry wrote, "If Maddie felt that strong about it, she would have hung the jury. This sounds a bit like woulda, coulda, shoulda." TLC 1101 defended that juror, saying she did as instructed. She left her emotions out of the verdict, but that doesn't mean she isn't free to express them now. Get over it. Tonight, deputies need your help to find a missing woman. Orange County deputies say Darcy Miller told her family she was going shopping at the mall at Millennia yesterday, but she never returned home. The family is especially concerned because they say Darcy does not have her medication. Deputies say Darcy was driving a white 2007 Honda Fit with Florida tag 1489FN. There are 2 white cat stickers on the back window on the driver's side. If you see the car or Darcy, call the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Turtles and marathons don't go hand in hand, or do they?
That's an interesting question. Who is the fastest slowpoke of them all? We're going to find out soon. Coming up, the local shellbacks and the interesting race to the finish. Tom?
You know, for a minute I thought you were making fun of me.
No.
Just kidding. Hey, take a look at radar. The tropics may not threaten us, but we do have a lot of rain tonight to talk about. We're tracking heavy showers. Big rain in Windermere, and now it's pounding rain in Kissimmee down to St. Cloud. I'll be back to track the lightning strikes and what it all means for your weekend.
But first, putting a new face on a classic campus, the plans to revitalize a local landmark that's been a hot spot for decades. That's in 2 minutes.
Remember, Local 6 News is always on clickorlando.com, your smartphone and your tablet. Take us with you.